There's this hidden problem with most vacations we take later in life. We pour our hearts into planning these amazing trips, a chance to finally see the world, but then we find ourselves just completely exhausted, mentally and physically, before the trip is even half over. It's this frustrating puzzle, right? The very itineraries we designed to get the most out of our vacation are the exact things that stop us from enjoying it. We end up coming home with this sort of blur of memories, feeling like we need a vacation from our vacation. So today, we're going to dig into the real biological reason this happens. And more importantly, we're going to explore a much wiser and frankly more wonderful way to travel. And this, right here, this is what we call the efficiency trap. It's a way of thinking where we grade our trip with a checklist. Did we hit all 10 landmarks? Did we squeeze 3 cities into 5 days? We've been conditioned to think that this is how you get your money's worth. But here's the honest truth. That whole approach, it was built for the body and brain of a 25-year-old. As we get older, our biological rulebook changes, quietly but profoundly. And when we keep pushing for that old kind of efficiency, it doesn't add more value. It creates an energy debt that just drains the joy right out of the trip. The very plan meant to maximize our enjoyment becomes the thing that stops it cold. So if you've ever been on day 3 of a dream vacation, feeling that deep, bone-weary exhaustion and thinking, what is wrong with me? I want to be crystal clear about something. It's not you. It's not a personal failing. You haven't lost your sense of adventure. What you're feeling is a predictable, scientifically understandable biological fact. Our bodies just operate under a new set of rules as we age, and most travel plans, well, they completely ignore them. So let's get into the science of this, because really understanding why you feel this way is the first step to changing how you travel for the better. I think we all know this feeling. You've saved up, you've planned every little detail, you've dreamed about this trip. And then there you are, standing on some beautiful street in a new city, and the simple task of deciding where to get dinner feels like climbing a mountain. So what's actually happening inside your body? It's way more than just jet lag or sore feet. There are 2 really powerful, invisible forces at work here. One is physical. It's about how your body recovers. The other is mental. It's about how your brain handles a new place. And most travel itineraries just steamroll right over both of them. Let's break them down. Okay, so the first force is something we call the recovery window gap. Think about your energy like the battery on your phone. When you were 25, a few hours of sleep could take you from 50% right back to a full charge. The recovery time was fast. Well, as we get older, that recharge just takes longer. The window of time your body needs to get back to 100% gets wider. The gap is that crucial difference between the rest your body biologically needs and the rest a typical jam-packed itinerary actually gives you. And this isn't just about one long day. It builds up. Every time you push through, you start the next day with a little less in the tank, and the day after that with even less, until by day 4, you're just running on fumes, and the joy is gone. The second force is novelty stress. This is the invisible mental work your brain is doing every single second you're in an unfamiliar place. See, at home, your brain is on autopilot. You know how to get coffee, find your way to the store, read the signs. It's all low effort. But when you travel, everything requires active thought. Trying to figure out a foreign subway map, calculating a new currency, ordering food in another language, every one of these little tasks comes with a kind of cognitive processing tax. Your brain is constantly working, analyzing, adapting. And that mental effort is just as draining as walking for miles. It's why you can spend a day sitting on a tour bus and still feel completely wiped out by dinner time.
Okay, so this slide really puts it all into perspective. On the left, you've got the old way of doing things, the efficiency trap. It's all about logical density, basically how many things can we cram into a single day. And we know the result, exhaustion. But on the right, we have the wise itinerary. It focuses on environmental competence. It's a fancy term for something really simple, creating a smart match between what you're capable of and what you're doing. It's about listening to your body's energy levels, respecting its natural rhythms, like the fact that most of us have more energy in the morning. So instead of asking, how much can I see, the wise traveler asks, how well can I experience this one thing? And that's the whole ballgame.
So if that old model is broken, how do we build a new one? How do we actually create one of those wise itineraries? Well, the solution is a new framework, a really simple system that's designed to work with your body's biology, not fight against it. It's called the Biometric Itinerary Protocol, or BIP for short. And you can think of it as a simple set of rules for managing your energy so you can finally have the trip you've always wanted. This right here, this is the single most important mental shift you can make. For most of our lives, we've treated time as the most valuable thing on a vacation. But the Biometric Itinerary Protocol asks us to start treating our energy as the most valuable currency. Your physical and your mental energy, that is the most precious and limited resource you have when you're on the road. This whole protocol isn't about doing less, it's about making a strategic investment of your energy. It's a guide for spending that energy wisely on the things that create real joy and memories that will last a lifetime.
And the protocol itself is built on 3 really simple but powerful rules. First up is the rule of 1. Every day, you commit to only 1 significant anchor activity. That's it. If you're going to a major museum, that's your anchor for the day. A 4-hour walking tour, that's the anchor. Everything else is just a low-key optional bonus. Second, the 1-to-1 recovery ratio. This is a total game changer. For every hour you spend on, actively sightseeing, walking, navigating, you intentionally schedule 1 hour of being off. And off means real rest. Not just wandering to another gift shop, but maybe sitting in a quiet cafe, reading in your hotel room, or just putting your feet up. It's dedicated recovery time. And third, morning alignment. You schedule that one big anchor activity, the most demanding part of your day, for the morning. This lines up your biggest energy spend with the time of day when your body is naturally at its peak.
All right, so understanding those 3 rules is the what. Now let's get into the how. How do you actually build a trip plan using this protocol? We're going to break it down into 4 really practical, easy-to-use tactics that you can apply to your very next trip, starting today. These are the real building blocks of a smarter travel plan. This is where the idea becomes your new reality. And it's not about making these huge, complicated changes to your plans. It's about making a bunch of small, smart choices that add up to have a massive impact on how you feel. The heart of it is shifting your main question from how much can I possibly pack in to a much, much wiser question. How well can I actually experience this? Let's look at 4 specific ways you can do just that. Here are 4 super practical tactics. First, the buffer day anchor. Your arrival day is not day 1 of the vacation, it's day 0. Your only job is to get to your hotel, unpack, and just gently settle in. Maybe a short walk around the block, but that's it. No museums, no big tours. You're starting your trip with rest. Second, geographic clustering. Before you go, look at a map and group your activities by neighborhood. Dedicate a day to just one small area. This cuts way down on travel time and really reduces that novelty stress of trying to get all over a big, unfamiliar city. Third, the decision-free evening. Decision fatigue is real, and by the end of the day, even asking, where should we eat, can feel like a huge chore. So decide ahead of time. Before you even leave home, research a few dinner spots near your hotel for each night. And finally, my personal favorite, the tactical seating audit. From now on, when you walk into any museum, park, or public space, your first move is to spot where the benches are. Get in the habit of just sitting down for 5 minutes every half hour. It is a tiny act of proactive rest that pays off big time for your overall stamina. Now, putting these ideas into practice takes more than just tweaking your schedule. It actually requires a pretty profound shift in how we think. It means we have to redefine what a successful trip even means. It's all about letting go of that old, exhausting definition and embracing a new one that's based on wisdom, self-awareness, and just deep, unhurried enjoyment. This slide really gets to the heart of it. We need to move from scanning to savoring. The old way of travel is all about scanning, rushing through a museum to glance at 20 famous paintings in an hour. But true travel mastery, that's about savoring. It's about finding one of those paintings and just sitting with it for 20 minutes, noticing the brushstrokes, feeling what it's trying to say. It's the difference between saying you've done a city and saying you've truly experienced a small part of it. And that right there, that's where the magic is. That's where the memories that stick are made. Let's just let this sink in for a second. For so long, we've been taught to view slowing down as a compromise, right? A concession to getting older. But the absolute opposite is true. Pacing is not a compromise. It is the ultimate travel luxury. The ability to move at your own speed, to follow a whim, to stay a little longer in a place that just captivates you, to be truly present without a punishing schedule hanging over your head, that freedom is the greatest luxury travel can offer. It's a deliberate choice. It's a sign of real wisdom. So, we've talked about the problem, this efficiency trap. We've understood the science behind the recovery window gap and novelty stress. And we've walked through the solution, the Biometric Itinerary Protocol. So let's bring it all home now with one final gentle challenge to help you reimagine your very next trip.
So here it is, your gentle challenge. The next time you're planning a trip, or even if you're just dreaming one up, take a look at the itinerary. For each day, find your rule of one anchor activity. Then, look at the second or third big thing you planned for that day and just delete it. With total confidence, just cross it right off the list. And in that empty space you've just created, write in recovery block. This simple act of subtraction is the single most powerful addition you can make to your plans. You're not losing an activity, you are creating space for rest, for spontaneity, and for the kind of unexpected joy that makes travel so wonderful in the first place. As we wrap up, let's just remember this. Your need for a different travel rhythm isn't a personal limitation. It is a biological reality, and one that just calls for a wiser approach. The solution we've talked about, the Biometric Itinerary Protocol, it's just a tool to help you protect your most valuable resource, your energy. By embracing simple ideas like the rule of one and aligning your plans with your morning energy, you're not actually restricting your travel, you are liberating it. You're giving yourself the freedom to travel at your own pace, the space to truly inhabit your adventures, and the ability to come home not exhausted, but enriched with the vibrant, peaceful memories you so deeply deserve.